Today, we're going to tackle an important and often debated topic, the gender pay gap. To start off, let's clarify what we mean by the gender pay gap. Simply put, it refers to the average difference in earnings between men and women in the workforce. This gap exists across various industries and occupations, and has been a persistent issue for decades. In 2020, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, women made 83 cents for every dollar earned by men. Women of color are at an even greater disadvantage. A woman working full-time, year-round, earned $10,194 less than her male counterpart, on average, in 2018. If this wage gap were to remain unchanged, she would earn about $407,760 less than a man over the course of a 40-year career. Now, the big question is, why is there a gender pay gap? There are more men in senior roles than women. One of the key factors contributing to the gender pay gap is the unequal representation of men and women in senior positions. This discrepancy arises from long-held assumptions that senior roles require constant availability and long working hours, which has its roots in outdated gender roles from the 1950s. Additionally, globalization and technology have extended the working day, exacerbating the problem. However, it's crucial to remember that this disparity can be tackled. To bridge the gap, we need to redesign senior roles to accommodate the realities of the modern workforce. Instead of assuming that these positions can only be fulfilled by individuals with no non-work commitments, we must reimagine them to work for everyone. By embracing flexibility and part-time options, employers can create inclusive environments that promote work-life balance. To solve this issue, we can design senior roles to work for all. In the 21st century, we have a workforce where 90% of individuals desire flexible or part-time working arrangements. It's time to align senior roles with these aspirations. Employers often argue that flexibility in such positions is impossible due to client demands or expert knowledge requirements. However, with a little imagination and collaboration, all jobs can be redesigned to support work-life integration. Caring responsibilities and part-time roles are shared unequally. Another reason contributing to the gender pay gap is the unequal sharing of caring responsibilities and the subsequent impact on career progression. Women often face the assumption that they should prioritize caregiving after childbirth, leading to a higher prevalence of part-time jobs, reduced skill utilization, and limited advancement opportunities. It's important to recognize that societal expectations play a role here. Men face challenges when seeking part-time work due to cultural biases. However, research indicates that many men wish to work fewer hours to spend more time with their families. To address this issue, employers must create quality, flexible jobs that allow both women and men to balance their ambitions with caring responsibilities. Part-time work should not mean delivering a full-time workload for reduced pay. Instead, employers should focus on developing part-time roles at all levels and ensure that career progression is both acceptable and aspirational. Women choose to work in low-paid roles and sectors. Traditional gender roles and societal undervaluation of skills associated with femininity contribute to women being overrepresented in low-paid occupations. The assumption that women choose these roles due to flexibility or family friendliness positions the gender pay gap as a personal choice, rather than a result of limited options. On the other hand, many discuss how women choose to go into lower-paid industries including childcare, social work, teaching, and nursing. But few question why these female-dominated industries attract lower wages in the first place. A study that looked at U.S. Census data between 1950 and 2000 found when women entered a previously male-dominated industry, the average salary dropped. These findings led many social scientists to suggest that factors such as gender bias and social pressure not only devalue women's work, but also discourage women from pursuing higher-paid, male-dominated jobs. The solution lies in opening up all sectors to part-time and flexible working. By dismantling the barriers that prevent women from entering traditionally male-dominated sectors, we can encourage greater gender diversity in these fields. Moreover, incorporating flexible progression within these sectors ensures that part-time workers have equal opportunities for career development. Women taking more time out of work to raise a family. As childbearers, women are still largely expected to be the ones who take time off work to raise children. However, the number of women having children is falling, while the number of men taking on more housework and the role of primary caregiver is on the rise. Hopefully, these new trends mean more women will be able to pursue their careers, regardless of whether they have a family or not. Unfortunately, even if women try to return to work after having a child, they often face what is known as the motherhood penalty. As most workplaces still don't offer much flexibility for mothers, they are often forced to take on lower-paying and less demanding jobs. However, even if they are able to find a job that suits them, mothers are much less likely to get an interview compared to fathers and childless women. What's more, while women are penalized for having children, men are rewarded. With research from academic publisher and university affiliate Duke University Press, finding fathers are more likely to be hired than childless men and tend to be paid more. Women are paid less than men for the same role. It's important to differentiate between the gender pay gap and the issue of equal pay. The gender pay gap refers to the overall disparity in average hourly pay rates between men and women, while equal pay addresses the discrimination of paying different amounts to individuals of different genders performing the same job. The gender wage gap was much larger in 1960, when women's pay was 61% of men's, but progress has stalled over the last 15 or more years, according to researchers. Although a study by Harvard Business Review found that women actually rank more highly than men in 17 out of the top 19 leadership qualities, including problem solving, communication skills, and innovativeness, women are consistently overlooked by employers, who still tend to view men as being more competent. So, stop paying women less than men for the same role. Since the Equal Pay Act of 1970, the law has made it clear that men and women should receive equal pay for equal work. However, discrimination sometimes arises from the same assumptions and biases discussed earlier. We must emphasize that paying men and women equally for the same role is not only a legal requirement, but a moral imperative. Bonus pay gap. Not only are women being shortchanged when it comes to hiring decisions and negotiating salaries, we're also receiving less in performance bonuses. An Australian study by Mercer found that men were receiving up to 35% more in performance bonuses than women, despite receiving the same performance rating. What to do about the gender wage gap? At the current pace, women are not estimated to reach pay parity with men until 2059. To begin to close the gender wage gap, women need updated comprehensive equal pay legislation, such as the Paycheck Fairness Act, that will strengthen existing protections and further combat discriminatory practices. Other robust work-family policies are also essential to truly combating the multifaceted gender wage gap, so that women who disproportionately assume much of the caregiving responsibilities in their families are not unfairly disadvantaged by taking time to address care needs. For example, access to paid sick days and a comprehensive paid family and medical leave program are just two of the essential policies that would help minimize job loss and ensure better economic security for all workers. Beyond public policy, society must confront cultural biases that continue to harm women, particularly women of color, by devaluing their work and confining them to specific gender roles. Only by enacting essential policies and shifting cultural attitudes can the United States begin to dismantle the patriarchal structures that systematically disadvantage and shortchange women and their families. We hope you found this video insightful and thought-provoking. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more informative content. Remember, change starts with awareness and action. Together, we can create a more inclusive and fair society. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.